Good.
All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, everyone. Shalom. Obviously, my name is Yarapa. We are doing our second class for today, the last day of the Feast of Tabernacles. All praises to the Most High. We had a good feast this past week. For those who went upstate with us to do the tabernacling, and y'all know we had a really good time. We had a blessed time. The Most High kept us while we were up there, and hopefully, we get to do it again. Most High will be, if we're here next year, we're going to try for all 7 days. All right, we had a good time. So, as I said before, we're in the last day of the feast. And the last day, as we know, I kind of touched on it while we were upstate, but I'm going to go into detail just a little bit more about the last great day. Right, that's the topic of the class, the last great day. If y'all remember when I touched on it, why is it called the last great day? Does anybody remember? Yeah, Yahuda.
Last of the harvest.
Yes, but hold on real fast. Continue. You finish up with that? Okay, let's touch on it just a little bit. Einwar had his hand up. There you go. That's why. Is that what you're gonna say, Zach?
You said yes. I was gonna say that for the Most High gonna show himself. I was another question.
Somewhat, but is that what you're gonna say, y'all? What's up?
Con.
Yeah, it was the last great day. It was the last high holy day of the year for us, originally, as prescribed in the law, right? Because when we originally had the commandments, what holiday didn't exist yet? Feast of what? Right, the Feast of Lights, Hanukkah. Hanukkah didn't exist yet, so the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacles was the last high holy day of the year, besides the new moons and Sabbaths, of course. But that was the last day that some of us were going to see each other for the year, because remember, we had to come to Jerusalem for these high holy days, and this was going to be the last time that some of us got to see each other for the year until Passover, right? And who knows if that was going to be literally the last time we saw each other, and it was the last time that the Most High commanded us to come together for the year. So we're going to go into that just a little bit and what it symbolically means. But first, I want to just touch on that scripture really fast. So we're going to start with Leviticus 23 and 39. And if y'all went over this last night, I apologize, but of course we have to touch on it just a little bit just to see where it comes from. Leviticus 23 and 39.
It's the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 39. Also, in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruits of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord, unto the Most High, 7 days.
Right, so we were supposed to keep a feast unto the Most High 7 days on the 15th day of the 7th month. That's what we did last Friday night, right? Go ahead.
On the first day shall be a Sabbath.
The first day shall be a Sabbath, a high day of rest, right? Go ahead.
And on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath.
Right, the 8th day came in last night, as we all know, right? So the 8th day was also a Sabbath, so it was just as important as the first day. We were supposed to dwell in booths for 7 days, which, we attempted to. We got, 3 or 4 days? We had like 3 or 4 days out there, and now on the 8th day, we was all supposed to come together for a celebration, right? So I want to jump to John chapter 7, verse 37.
This is the book of John, chapter 7, verse 37. In the last day,
When?
that great day of the feast.
Right, the last day, the great day of the feast, right? Because it was originally the last high holy day of the year, right? Go ahead.
Yahushua stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink.
Right, so he said, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. So it shows you that Yahushua kept the Feast of Tabernacles, number one, right? And we're going to see how he's the center of it all now, okay? That he is the center of all the feast days that we do. Everything that we do is through Yahushua now, right? Go ahead.
He that believeth on me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water.
Right, so he said that whoever wants to come to me, who wants to learn about the Most High, you have to come to me now, Okay, so everything that we do, we do through the spirit of Yahushua. He's the center of all the high holy days. He's the Passover, the first fruits, the memorial blowing of the trumpet. He's the atonement. Okay, he's the harvester for the ingathering. Okay, he's the one that we get through all of our understanding of the Most High through now too. So when we do these things, we have to keep in mind the presence of Yahushua. Right? Read on.
But this spake he of the Spirit, which they that believe on him should receive.
Right. So when he said, "Let him come unto me and drink," out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water, that means that people were going to receive the Holy Spirit. People, we hadn't gotten it yet because he hadn't passed away yet, but nonetheless, we all get it through him now. We get all of our understanding of the Most High through him, his laws, his statutes and commandments, why things are the way that they are. Right. Read on.
For the Holy Ghost,
Spirit.
For the Holy Spirit,
Right.
was not yet given.
Right. It was not yet given. Go ahead.
Because that Yahushua was not yet glorified.
Right. Go ahead.
Many of the people, therefore, when they heard this saying, said, "Of a truth, this is a prophet."
This is the prophet,
This is
right?
the prophet.
So they right at that point, people started to believe and understand that he was the prophet that was promised to us in Deuteronomy. Okay, now at that point they understood it. Okay, so from there, when we talk about the last great day, and I kind of touched on it also during what was that, trumpets, what that last great day means. So we're gonna go into it just a little bit further so that we can see exactly what we're looking forward to, and you're gonna see how the Feast of Tabernacles kind of goes along with it. All right, so from there we're gonna go to Matthew 24. Right, Matthew 24, and we're going to read verses 30 and 31 first. Okay.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Right, the sign of the Son of Man of heaven, which is him. Go ahead.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Right, because they're going to be, first of all, they're going to be in the midst of war when Yahushua returns. World War III is going to be on and popping during that time, right? And then when they see him, as you read in Second Esdras, when they see the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, they're going to stop what they're doing. They're going to stop fighting each other and going to try and fight him now, right? But they're going to see, he says they're going to see that the tribes of the earth mourn, right? Go ahead.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Power and great glory, meaning it's going to be a wondrous sight in the heavens when Yahushua and the angels return. Go ahead.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
Right. But remember, I spoke about this during trumpets, that there's going to be a loud trumpet being blown when Yahushua makes his return, right? And the angels are going to be coming with him, right? Go ahead.
And they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, eat from one end of heaven to the other.
Right, so there's going to be a great gathering. It's going to be an ingathering, okay? We're going to be harvested during those days, right? So now I want you to jump to verse 36.
Verse 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven,
Right.
but my Father only.
Right, so Yahushua doesn't even know when he's coming back, right? Only the Most High knows. So whenever people try to tell you, oh, we're being beamed up on this day, or we're being beamed up on this day, or whatever day, you know that they're lying, because Yahushua said himself, nobody knows. Not even him. He doesn't know. Okay, only the Most High knows when that day is. What we know, only thing that we do know is that there are certain events that have to take place before he returns. We just don't know exactly when it is. Okay, so don't let anybody confuse y'all or deceive y'all saying, no, this is the day, or that's the day, or whatever have you. Right? Read on.
But as the days of Noah were, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right, so he says, so just like the days of Noah when they went into the ark, right? The Son of Man's return is going to be the exact same way. Read on.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Right, so it was life as usual when things were going on in Noah's time. Go ahead, Ima.
To deceive people, praying on fears, right? Praying on people's fears. They're looking for some God. They're looking for Jesus. Somebody.
and they're also trying to pump themselves up as God too. You know, they're trying to deceive people, and they're trying to also turn people away from God also, because when you see that thing, they're gonna be rearing towards that side now, like, oh, this is Project Bluebeam, or this is the Messiah, and this, that, and the third. It's gonna turn people away from the Most High, right? Yeah, Zach.
No, I was gonna say pertaining to you said like the Howard shot. You don't know when he's coming back. We know the Most High knows, but like you said, all these events have to take place,
Mm-hmm.
and once everything is fulfilled, then
That's what we should be expecting, right?
Yeah.
That's when we expect his return. We know that certain things have to happen first before Yahweh Shai returns. All right, where do we leave off?
In verse 38, I'll start it again though.
No,
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage.
Right, just like today, nobody is really paying attention to what's going on. They don't see the signs in the world. Everything is just life as usual. People going out, people getting married, people doing this, that, and the third, trying to live their best life, just like the days of Noah, right? And then what happened?
Until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Exactly. Until that day that Noah went in. It was just all life where everything was all peachy and grand, and everybody was telling Noah that he's crazy and this, that, and the third. So people are gonna do the same thing to us. Hey, you guys are crazy. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. You're racist. Go ahead.
So like in the days of Noah, it's like you're building this ark and they don't even know rain yet.
Exactly. They have no idea what rain is. Just like people on this side, they have no idea what a meteor shower is either. They don't know what it means to feel nuclear heat. You know what I mean? They don't know what worldwide destruction is, or genocide. You know what I mean? They don't know these things. They have no idea what's coming for them, and yet it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Quora.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the RJ that into hip hop and
Yeah, life as usual. It's gonna be life as usual in those days. Yeah, read on.
It says, verse 39, and knew not until the flood came.
Right.
And took them all away.
They had no idea what was going on. They had never been touched before, right? Never experienced hardship or death in that kind of fashion. Never seen a cataclysmic event, and then next thing you know, they're getting washed away. Literally everybody on the earth except 8 people died, right? We always gloss over that fact that who knows how many people were on the earth at the time, and only 8 people survived. So literally only 8 people out of who knows how many, say like 7 billion, right? They say there's 7 billion people on the earth right now. Just imagine 7 billion people getting wiped out and only 8 people live. It's a scary sight, but that's what's going to happen, right? Read on.
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right, it's going to be just like that. It's going to be life as usual. People thinking that they can't be touched, they can't be harmed, but then next thing you know, they're getting wiped away in nuclear fire, right? Read on.
Then shall 2 be in the field. The one shall be taken and the other left.
Right, go ahead.
2 women shall be grinding at the mill. The one shall be taken and the other left.
Right, so he's showing off, well, he's giving the image of being harvested. We're picking up this one and leaving that one. We're taking this one, leaving that one. Taking this one, leaving that one, right? So I want to touch on that part a little bit. They're being harvested, like in the Feast of Tabernacles, right? So I want you to drop that and get me 1 Thessalonians 4 and 16. We're going to read 16 and 17. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 and 17.
It's
Good.
the book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 4, verse 16. For the other one himself shall descend from heaven with a shout.
Right,
And with the voice of the archangel.
Right.
And with the trump of Yahweh.
Right, that's what we read in Matthew, right? He said that the Son of Man will descend from heaven with the trump and the archangels, right? He said that himself, right? Go ahead.
And the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first.
Right, he said the dead in Yahushai will rise first, meaning those of us who died for the name of Yahushai, those who have died for us in his truth, guess what? They will rise first, right? They will be resurrected first. And we're going to touch on that in a little bit also. Because I want you to read, hold that, get me John chapter 6. In fact, we were supposed to go there before coming here, but nonetheless, John chapter 6, verse 26, okay?
The book of John, chapter 6 and verse 26.
Mm-hmm.
Yahushua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me, not because ye saw my miracles,
Right.
but because ye did eat of the loaves
Right.
and were filled.
Right. He said, y'all not looking for me because of the miracles. You're looking for me because you were hungry and y'all ate. You know, y'all just wanted your bellies full. Right? Go on.
Labor not for the meat which perisheth,
Uh-huh.
but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life.
Right. So he's saying, don't labor for the food that only nourishes the body because that food perishes. But search for the food that spiritual food, that understanding, that way you can inherit everlasting life, right? Go on.
Which the Son of Man shall give unto you.
Uh-huh.
For him had Yahweh the Abba sealed.
Right, go ahead.
Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of Yahweh?
Yahweh, real fast. Yahweh, come move the camera back just a little bit. People are saying the camera's too close. Water. Okay, that's good. It should be fine from there. Or you can zoom out just a little bit.
There. Oh.
Perfect. That's good right there. That's perfect. Water. What was the last verse we read?
I'm at 29.
Read it again, please.
Said, so I'll start 28.
Okay.
Then said they unto him, What shall we do that we might work the works of Yahweh?
Right. He said, what shall we do then? Right? Go ahead.
Yahushua answered and said unto them, This is the work of the power, that ye believe on him whom he had sent.
Right. So the Most High ever always wanted us to believe those he sent, the prophets, right? The scribes and the Pharisees, that they always want us to believe whom he sent, and ultimately him himself, Yahushua. He always wanted us to believe that the Most High had sent him, right? Yahushua always said, don't believe me because the Most High sent me. Believe the works. The Most High sent me. I didn't do this by myself. I did this of the Father, this, that, and the third, right? Read on.
They said therefore unto him, What sign showest thou then, that we may see and believe thee? What dost thou work?
Right. So they always ask, okay, give us a sign then. If you really came from the Most High, send us a sign. Give us a sign, right? Go ahead.
Our fathers did eat manna in the desert, as it is written. He gave them bread from heaven to eat.
Right. So they brought up the example of our ancestors eating manna in the wilderness that seemed to come out of nowhere, right? It came from heaven. It came from the Most High. So they said, okay, show us a sign like that. We believe that sign. So can you give us one also? Read on.
Then Yahushua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moses gave you not that bread from heaven,
Right. He said, Moses didn't give you that sign. Go ahead.
but my Father giveth you the true bread from heaven.
Right.
For the bread of Yahweh is he that cometh down from heaven, and giveth life unto the world.
Right. So he said the bread of heaven is the true bread, which gives life to the world, right? Which is him. He's ultimately that bread, right? Read on.
Then said they unto him, Adawan, evermore give us this bread.
Right. Go ahead.
And Yahushua said unto them, I am the bread of life.
He's like, you're looking at him. You're looking at that bread of life, right? Because what is bread good for? Bread is good, is filling, right? Every time you eat a sandwich, you might be full, or you might, like, bread is supposed to be nourishing and fulfilling, right? You can get full off of bread, right? But he said, I'm the real bread, the true spiritual bread that came down from heaven, right? Go ahead.
He that cometh to me shall never hunger,
Right.
and he that believeth on me shall never thirst.
Shall never thirst, right? So he's explaining what he really means by that. I am the true bread, because if you come from me, or if you come to me for that spiritual understanding, you're not going to want anything else. You're not going to need anything else, really. You'll never hunger, you'll never thirst. You won't look elsewhere for knowledge and spiritual understandings of the world, of history, of prophecy. We get that all from Yahweh Shai, right? So that's why he's the bread that came from heaven, right? Go on.
But I said unto you that ye also have seen me and believe not.
Right, go ahead.
All that the Father giveth me shall come to me. And him that cometh to me will I in no wise, and he that cometh to me I will in no wise cast out.
Right, so the Most High gives Yahweh Shai who he wants in his kingdom, right? He gives him his disciples, he gives him his apostles, he gives him his followers, right? And Yahweh Shai won't reject them. So if we come truly to Yahweh Shai, then he won't reject us because we come from the Most High also, right? Go ahead.
For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me.
Right, so Yahweh Shai, like he's always said, I did not come to do my own thing. I do what the Father tells me. As he tells me, I go. What he tells me to do, I do, right? Read on. This is what I really wanted to get to. Go ahead.
And this is the Father's will which had sent me,
Uh-huh.
that of all which he had given me, I should lose nothing.
All which he has given him, he shall lose nothing. So Yahweh Shai, if you're a true follower of Yahweh Shai, he won't lose you, okay? He will not reject you and he will not lose you. No one can take you from him. You won't be drafted to some other doctrine. You won't be wishy-washy in other belief systems and other religions and other philosophies. If you are a true believer in Yahweh Shai, this is what you will abide by. That's what he's saying, all right? Go on.
But should raise it up again at the last day.
And when?
But should raise it up again at the last day.
At the last day, in that final day. All that the Most High has given Yahweh Shai, he's going to get it all back at the last day, right? Go ahead.
And this is the will of him that sent me, that every one which seeth the Son,
Who seeth the Son, who sees Yahweh Shai, who reads about him, right?
and believeth on him,
So you abide by these scriptures and the words that Yahweh Shai gave us, right? Go ahead.
may have everlasting
You're
life,
going to inherit eternal life, right? Go ahead.
and I will raise him up at the last day.
Right, raise him up at the last day. So when we go back to 1 Thessalonians, and he said the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first, this is what he's saying. At the last day, those who stood stiffly in this truth, those who died in this truth and did not waver and did not fear and kept the faith, they will be raised first in the last day, right? So I want you to go back to 1 Thessalonians and read.
Can I read one verse down real
Sure,
quick?
go ahead.
Verse 44. No man can come to me except the Father which had sent me draw him.
Exactly. So you have to come. So the Most High has to choose you, essentially. Okay? Because we can't just walk up to Yahweh Shai and say, oh, I want to be your follower. No, the Most High had to choose you to be his follower. Okay? Go on.
And I will raise him up at the last
And
day.
I will raise him up at the last day, where that is the last day, right? Go ahead. Go back. Oh, yeah. Go back to 1 Thessalonians and read 16 and 17 again, please.
It's the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verse 16. For the other one himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, and with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High.
Right. So we read about that in Matthew 24, right?
And the dead in Yahushua shall raise first.
So we read that in John chapter 6, right? All these things that we read about, this is how you know that the New Testament is real, because they're saying the same things. He almost quoted him verbatim, right? He said he's going to descend from heaven with a loud trumpet and with a sign and with the archangels. They're going to all be coming up, right? And then the dead will rise first in Yahushua. Go ahead.
Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds.
Right. When he said two shall be in the field and one left, right? One be taken, the other left, right? Go ahead.
To meet the other one in the air.
To meet the Most High, meet the Lord Yahushua in the air, right?
And so shall we ever be with the other one.
Right. So we're going to be with him in the air. We're going to be harvested, right? Like in the Feast of Tabernacles, like we harvest our fruits. We say, look, these fruits are good. That fruit is bad. We're going to toss that one out. That one did not grow properly. But these fruits here, we're going to take these, right? Now hold that. Get me Wisdom of Solomon. chapter 5, verse 1, because this is all how it's going to happen. He said, two shall be in the field, one shall be taken, the other one left.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him,
Right.
and made no account of his labor.
Right, so all of us righteous people, our righteous brothers and sisters who stood stiffly and labored for this truth, when they get risen up, they're going to stand before all of our enemies and those who afflicted us, and this is what's going to happen, right? Go ahead.
When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear.
Right, because Yahushua will have made his second coming, his appearance. And remember, he said all the tribes of the earth will mourn, right? It's going to be a great and terrible day. Go ahead.
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his
It's
salvation.
going to be what?
And shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation.
Right, because remember, we just read in 1 Thessalonians that we're going to basically be beamed up, right? Two shall be in the field, one taken, the other one left. And the one who's left is going to be looking up like, what the hell is this? What am I witnessing right now? It's going to be a strange sight because they've never seen people. We've never seen somebody get beamed up in the air before, right? Taken to heaven in a chariot, right? We've never seen something like that. So when it actually happens, it's going to be a strange sight to see, right? Go ahead.
So far beyond all that they looked for.
See, so far beyond anything that they've ever seen or ever witnessed or ever searched for. Something that they've never witnessed, right? Read on.
And they, repentant and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and a proverb of reproach.
Right. They're going to be looking at us like, oh, wow, those really were the people of the book. And them niggas over there, those people, we had them in derision. We had them as slaves. We had them selling their behinds in the corner, selling drugs to their own people. Those are the people that get beamed up. Those are the real children of God. Are you serious? Right? Read on.
We fools accounted his life madness.
Right. We fools accounted for their lives to be madness. Like they just a bunch of niggas. How did they get beamed up? How? Right? Read on.
And his end to be without honor.
Right. They lived endless. Their deaths are no honor in their deaths. Right. They die in the streets. They overdose on drugs and this, that, and the third. How is it that they're being saved? Right? Go on.
How is he numbered among the children of Yahweh?
How are they the children of God? How? How is it that these niggas are the children of God? Right? And I say that because that's how they look at us. Right? That's why I use that word, because that's exactly what they think of us. Okay? Read on.
And his lot is among the saints.
Read verse 6.
Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness had not shined onto us, and the Son of righteousness rose not upon us.
Right, so at the end, they're going to realize the error of their ways, that they persecuted the wrong people. Okay, that they persecuted the wrong people. Go ahead.
I think this also could work two ways too, because not just the other nations, but even Israel who don't believe it.
Oh, yes.
Who count our, like, y'all.
Yeah, you're in a cult.
Thing, you know?
Yeah, you're in a cult and whatever. What's wrong with y'all?
They won't. Then they'll be amazed too.
Absolutely. Okay. Now from there, go to 1 Corinthians 15, verse 50. I'm almost done. I told you I wouldn't be a long class. I just wanted to expound upon what it means in the last great day because I touched on it while we were upstate, just briefly.
This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God.
Right, flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of God. So we have to understand that our fleshly ways, even these fleshly bodies, cannot inherit a spiritual kingdom. Okay, read on.
Neither doeth corruption inherit incorruption.
Right, so corruption cannot inherit incorruption. Something that's dirty cannot inherit something that's pure and holy and sacred. You understand? All right, read on.
Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep,
right?
But we shall all be changed.
Right, so some of us aren't going to die when this thing pops off. but we will all be changed from an incorruptible, a corruptible body into an incorruptible body, right? Go on.
In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump.
The last trump, right? Go ahead.
For the trumpet shall sound.
Just like we read in 1 Corinthians and just like we read in Matthew 24. Go ahead.
And the dead shall be raised incorruptible.
Just like we read in 1 Thessalonians. Go ahead.
And we shall be changed.
Right, we shall all be changed. Our bodies, our earthly tabernacles will be changed, right? Go ahead.
For this corruptible must put on incorruption.
Right.
And this mortal must put on immortality.
So we have to change our natures, right? Our natures will be changed. Our bodies will be changed, right? Go on.
So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal shall have put on immortality,
Right.
then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory.
Right. So in that day, we won't even be able to die anymore. We will be truly immortal, like the Most High wanted us to be in the beginning. We were always supposed to be immortal, but because of sin, we had to bring death into the world. All right. Or we brought death into the world because of sin, I should say. But in the end, we won't even have the capacity to sin. So therefore we won't die anymore. Right. Read verse 55.
O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?
Right. Those things, we will be singing those songs in the new day. We'll be looking at death like you have no power over us anymore. Death will no longer have any power over us anymore. Now, jump ahead to 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And we're going to read verses 1 to 11. And that will probably wrap it up. Because we're going to talk about this changing of our bodies during that last day. When we change from this tabernacle to the new tabernacle. Okay? Go ahead. Absolutely, because when he resurrected, he had a different body, right? He put on immortality at that point. That's why he's the first fruits. He's the first one to defeat death like that, okay? And we're going to be followed right after him. But remember when I said earlier, Yahweh Shai is in all these high holy days. He is the Passover. He's the unleavened bread. He's the first fruits, right? He's the trumpet, and he's the atonement, and he's the tabernacle. He's the harvester. He's all of these things, okay? Read on.
It's the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 1. For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved.
Of this what?
Of this tabernacle.
Right, of this tabernacle, right? Meaning this building, okay? This booth, if you will. Go ahead.
Were dissolved. We have a building of Yahweh. An house not made with hands.
Right.
Eternal in the heavens.
Right. So he's saying if our bodies, this body, if it dies and decays, we have an eternal building with the Most High in the heavens, right? Go ahead. Because the scripture says in Ecclesiastes that once we die, the spirit goes back to the Father, right? So we know that we go back to the Most High eventually, right? Go on.
For in this we groan, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house which is from heaven.
Right. So we want that spiritual body. We want that spiritual tabernacle, if you will. We don't want this flesh and blood anymore because it's corruptible. It's dirty. It's filthy. And it breaks down. It gets sick. Right. And these are the things that we moan about, and we want a different nature, essentially. Right. Read on.
If so be that being clothed, we shall not be found naked.
Right. We won't be naked with that spiritual body if we get it. Right. Go on.
For we that are in this tabernacle,
tabernacle, right? This body, this booth. Go ahead.
Do groan.
We groan, right? Go ahead.
Being burdened
with aches and pains, with illnesses, diseases, okay? Permanent scars and everything. Our bodies change as we get older. Right? I'm not even in my 20s anymore, and I'm just like, okay, I see the changes in my body as you all have, right? Everything's changed, right? And as we all get older, our bodies will continue to change until it dissolves, right? Go on.
I'll start back from the top. For we that are in this tabernacle do groan, being burdened, not for that we would be unclothed.
Right, not that we would be stripped of our bodies, right? Go ahead.
But clothed upon.
That we be protected, right?
That mortality might be swallowed up of life.
Right, so that way we can live forever. That's what we really want. We want immortality. That's what we achieve. That's why we spend all of this technology on trying to preserve life, because we're supposed to live forever. We know, man knows that. We know that we're supposed to live forever. And that's why we have a healthy fear of death, because we know we're not supposed to die. Right? Read on.
Now he that had brought us for the self same thing is Yahweh.
Right, because the Most High wants the same thing for us. He wants us to live forever. That was the original plan. Right? Go ahead.
Who has also given us the earnest of the Spirit.
Right, because the Spirit is what keeps us alive. Our own spirits keep us alive, and then the Most High Spirit keeps us living forever. It's supposed to help us live forever, right? Go ahead.
Therefore, we are always confident, knowing that whilst we are at home in the body,
While we are here present on earth, right, living and breathing as we see each other day to day, right? Go ahead.
we are absent from the Adawan.
Right, we're absent from the Most High. We're not with Him in the heavens while we're here on earth, right? We understand that. Go ahead.
For we walk by faith, not by sight.
Right, we walk by what we believe, not by what we actually see. Because if we go by what we see, we would have no hope, right? We would have no hope at all for anything, because the world is wicked, it's crazy, and it's disgusting. And if we lived by that, then we would have no hope for anything. Go ahead, Judah. Oh yeah, Esau has no hope because he has no spirituality. He just has a natural sense to him. He has no spirituality, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9. Wherefore we labor.
Wait,
that-
you skipped 8.
I skipped 8. It's a lot. Verse 8. We are confident. I read it in my mind. Verse 8. We are confident, I say,
Right.
and willing rather to be absent from the body and to be present with the
All right,
Adawan.
that's a powerful statement right there. That's a very powerful. He said, we are willing and confident and willing to be absent from this body and to be present with the Most High, right?
Faith.
That's faith. That's real strong faith, right? Go ahead.
Wherefore we labor that whether present or absent, we may be accepted of him.
Right. We do this work in this body so that way we can be accepted of the Most High, whether we are present or absent, whether we're living or we're dead, right? And it's funny that he says it's because Paul is dead. He's not here, but yet his words are still alive, right? And every word of the apostles and the prophets and even Yahushua, they're still alive. We still believe in and practice these things. So he's saying whether we're absent or present, we're accepted of him, right? Go ahead.
For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Hamashiach.
Right. So that's why he's the center of this all, because we have to stand before him in the final day, right? Go ahead.
That everyone may receive the things done in his body
In his tabernacle, right? Go ahead.
according to that he had done, whether it be good or bad.
Right. So he's saying that we have to stand before the before Yahushua and be judged in this for the things that we've done in this body, in this tabernacle, right? So from there, get me Hebrews chapter 8, verse 1 and 2. Because Yahushua built the tabernacle, okay? He built that thing.
Chapter 8, verse 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 1. Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum.
Right. This is the conclusion of it all. Go ahead.
We have such an high priest who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesties of heaven.
Right. The Yahushua is currently sitting at the right hand of the Most High, waiting for his orders, right? Standing in for us, interceding for us to the Most High, right? Go ahead.
A minister of the sanctuary.
A minister of the sanctuary, meaning,
And,
go ahead.
Go ahead. And of the true
And
tabernacle.
of the true tabernacle, right? Remember, we had a tabernacle in the wilderness, and we all lived in our own tabernacles in the wilderness. But Yahushua is the minister of the true tabernacle, right? Go ahead.
Which the Adawan pitched,
Right.
and not man.
He says, I don't want to pitch. Yahushua built the tabernacle. He designed it and told Moses, look, this is how you're going to make the tabernacle. This is how you do it. Why? Because he built the one in heaven, right? Jump down to chapter 9, verses 1 and 2.
Chapter 9, verse 1. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinance of divine sacrifice and the worldly sanctuary.
Divine service.
Salaki. Divine service and a worldly
And
sanctuary.
the worldly sanctuary, that was the tabernacle, right? Where we actually communed with the Most High. And if you ever read in, I think it's Numbers, how they actually pitched the tabernacle, they had the big tabernacle in the middle, and then all the other tribes were organized around it. You had certain tribes on the north, east, west, and south. Okay, maybe we should do that next year with the tabernacle. We should have something in the middle, and then everybody pitch or tent around it. Maybe it's something we could talk about, but this is how they had it in the wilderness, right? Go ahead.
For there was a tabernacle made.
Right, there was a tabernacle made. Go ahead.
The first,
Uh-huh.
wherein was the candlestick
Mm-hmm.
and the table and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary.
Which is called the sanctuary, which was in here in the Ark of the Covenant. In this was the candlestick, the table, and the showbread. Right? Go ahead.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all.
Right. Now from there, jump to verse 11.
Verse 11. But Hamashiach being come and high priest of good things to come,
Of good things to come. Right. Go ahead.
by a greater and more perfect
By a
tabernacle,
greater and more perfect tabernacle, the tabernacle that was in the heavens. Right. Because when he died, he stood before the Most High. He went into that holy of holies, if you will, and stood before the Most High to atone for us. Right. Oh, go ahead, Judah.
Not to take you away, but I think you might want to rethink that
What?
tabernacle, because the middle part is deeper what we than we.
Oh, absolutely. That's why in fact, that's why read give me 1 second. Read verse hold on. Read verse 5 real fast. I'm sorry.
verse 5. And over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Right. We can't really speak on it because it's not here with us, but this is just a representation of it. Right? But in this thing had the table, the testimony, Aaron's rod, the showbread, and other. Where is it at actually? Read verse 4. Read verse 4.
Okay. Verse 4, which had I'll start at 3.
Yeah.
And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the holiest of all, which had the golden censer,
Right, the golden
and
censer, which
and
was
the ark of the covenant,
the censer was the thing that they carried the incense in. Right. Read on.
and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold,
This thing right here. Right. Go ahead.
wherein was the golden pot that had manna,
Right. There was a pot in here that had manna. Hold on. Go ahead.
and Aaron's rod that budded,
Aaron's rod that budded. Right.
and the tables of the covenant.
Right. The tables of the covenant was the 10 commandments, like the sister said. Right. So that was actually in here. This was one of our most holy artifacts. Right. Go ahead, Judah.
Yeah, and those that were selected
Right. Was the high priest. The high priest could only go once a year. That's it. If he went in any other time of the year, it was a wrap for him. It was a wrap for him. And even when he went in, he had to be pristine. He had to have a certain garment on. He had to be clothed. I mean, he had to be bathed. He couldn't just walk up in there as he wanted to. No, there was specific instructions, so specific, like we said, that if he went in there and broke any of those instructions, he had to be killed. Yeah, it was the high priest.
Aaron, specifically the son of Aaron.
And his sons, whoever the high priest was. Hold on, real fast. Go ahead, Einwa. It was a whole thing. It was so serious that but my point was that Yahushua did it better, right? He had a more perfect ceremony, if you will, with his death. Okay, because he went into the heavens and both stood directly before them. Because remember, the Holy of Holies is where the Most High came down and communed with us and talked with us. But this time, Yahushua went up into the heavens, into the Holy of Holies, stood before the throne, and atoned for us. Hold on, real fast. Go ahead, Caleb.
That was before or after when Mary said, "You can't touch me." Just that part.
What do you mean?
Because you said he went into the holies of holies, right?
Yes.
And this is where Yahushua went at that time.
when he died.
When he died.
Right.
But when what about when he resurrected?
Well, when he resurrected, he told her, "Don't touch me," because he said, "I haven't appeared before my brethren yet."
Okay.
That's why he said that.
You get the point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that was after so when he died, he stood before the Most High, went to the Holy of Holies, atoned for us, and defeated death, so to speak, right? Then he resurrected into his spiritual body and appeared before Mary and his mother, I think, too, if I'm not mistaken. And he said, "Don't touch me yet. I haven't appeared before my brethren yet." So that's what that was.
I was just going to say that the tabernacle and the holiest of holies is an earthly representation
Exactly.
of what's going on in the third heaven.
Absolutely.
Yahweh Shai being our high priest, like he said, that once a year the high priests go in to atone for the nation. Yahweh Shai went into the real holy
The
of
real
holies
Holy of Holies,
to
yeah.
atone for the nation.
And he only did it once, right? That once a year was once in a lifetime. He's not going to do it again. Okay, Yahushua is not going to die and resurrect for us again. He did it once, and that was it. And that's all that really should have been necessary. Okay, where we at?
He had went back up to 4, but I think he was at
Verse 11. Read verse 11, and that's it.
this is the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, verse 11. But Mashiach being come and high priest of good things to
A
come,
high priest of good things to come. Go ahead.
by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, had not made with hands,
Right.
that is to say, not of this building.
Right. So Yahushua went into that more perfect tabernacle, which is in the heavens. Right. Because that's what he means by not made with hands, meaning we didn't build it. He built it in the heavens. It's a spiritual tabernacle. So I just wanted to expound upon what it was in that last great day, what it all means, and how Yahushua is at the center of it all. Because real fast, get me Revelation, All right, read verse 12.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood.
By his own blood, right? Go ahead.
He entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
There you go. See? So when Yahushua died, by the shedding of his own blood, it's better than blood of bulls and goats, right? His own blood makes a more perfect atonement in a more perfect place. Right? Go ahead, Judah.
Yeah, that ain't gonna brought that up because I think a war had brought it up on this last teaching about it winds up being a
Right. Right. So in expanding upon that a little bit, you can't go to the Most High and just say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna use Yahushua's blood as an atonement right now. I'm gonna commit sin and got Yahushua's blood on standby." You can't do that. That's blasphemous. You just can't do that. That's crazy. I'm gonna use this man's blood as a business deal. There's a sword waiting for your neck for that one. Go ahead, Judah. Oh, I swear to God. Yeah. People say that all the time and just let it go, right? Get me 2 Corinthians 6 and 11, and we're gonna wrap that up.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 11. O ye Corinthians.
Oh, I'm sorry. Salakia, 5 and 11.
5
and 11. Salakia.
Chapter 5, verse 11. Knowing therefore the terror of the other one, we persuade men.
We persuade men, knowing the terror of what's going to happen in that last day. We're trying to persuade y'all, okay? Trying to get y'all to understand what's going to happen in that last day, right? Go ahead.
But we are made manifest unto Yahweh, and I trust also are made manifest in your conscience.
Right, made manifest. I want y'all to get and understand what's going to happen in that last day. All right, so brothers and sisters, that's my class. I say Shalom. Ashar Ka'ag Sakawath. Did I say it correctly? Ashar Ka'ag Sakawath. I mean, happy Feast of Tabernacles. I hope y'all enjoyed the class. I hope y'all enjoyed the feast week. Next year is 7 days. We're gonna aim for the 7 days. All right, all 7 days. We're gonna aim for that next year. Okay, because we had a really good time. The weather cooperated for once. Okay, because the 3 years that I've done it,